So here we go for Edexcel Foundation. It's from May-June 2018. It's paper one, so get those calculators away. As always on the first couple of pages, don't overcomplicate, but also don't take too lightly. So correct the nearest thousand. It's a 6 in the thousands column. The 3 which comes after it means it levels off, so it becomes 6,000. Not the greatest. There we go. In order of size, don't miss any out. Make sure you cross them out or tick them off as you go along. But -6, -5, they're the lowest, smallest. Then we've got 0 into the positives for 6 and 12. Over here, order of size. Again, if you're not great with decimals, think about cash. So the smallest amount is this here, because it's only really just over 7 pence. And then over here, we've got just over 70 pence. This one is 78 pence. Done. And that one is 87 pence. And that's the job done. Next one, to go from percentage per cent means out of 100. It doesn't ask us to cancel down. You could cancel down to anywhere to a fifth. Why bother if you don't have to? On to number 4. Which of these fractions is not equivalent? So have a quick scan. I actually think that one's pretty obvious. 3/9 cancels down to a third. That's the odd one out. First even multiple of 7. Multiple means your times tables. 7 goes to 14. Couple of simplifying algebra marks. Do your numbers first. 3 times 4 makes 12. Do your letters second. Well, there's only a T to worry about. 8 minus 3, they're all the same. Plus 2 means you end up with 7 of them. There's no different letters to have to simplify. On to probability. Certain, probability that is certain is 1. So that's letter D. Unlikely, not C, that's above half, that's nearer likely. A is impossible, B is unlikely. Question C, very wordy. Can't believe it's 3 marks really, but show means do. So there are 12 counters in the bag out of 12. It says that you've got red and blue. Well, there's 4 of them. The rest are yellow and green. So 12 take away 4 means 8 are yellow and green, which means there are 6 green. You could go into that. You don't have to, because what happens with 8/12? We divide top and bottom by 4. We get what is asked for. On to number 8. As soon as you read the top line, it's non-calc, don't forget. Let's work out the cost of 1 kilogram. Divide it by 3. It's 18. There we go. But it wants Nina. She wants 2 kilograms. So 2 kilograms means double it. Work it out using short multiplication or mental arithmetic. Either way is fine. Question 9. From the centre to the circumference, that's the radius. Not a chord. A chord is inside. This one only touches it. T for touch, T for tangent. And on we go. So on question 10, more number work. Tim and 3 friends. There's 4 of them sharing equally. So let's work out how much they spend in total. 0 for that column, 14 for that column, 11 for there, and we get up to 21. So 2,140. And that amount shared equally. 5 fours are 20, 3 fours are 12, 5 fours are 20, no remainder, no need to go into decimals. So Tim and his mates all pay £535 each. An example to show that the following is not correct. So factors of an even number, I would say pick any even number because it's going to have a factor of 1, which is odd. So on my worked paper, I'd pick 6. Factors of 6, don't have to list them all. Oh, 1 and 3 are factors of 6 and they are odd. Part B, could use any number you want, I'll let you explain it, but all the digits in odd numbers are odd. Well, no, 47 is odd, but that digit is even, and you could take that to any daft level that you want. So on question 12, yes, it's only a bar chart, but don't take it too easy. Make sure you do the readings, use a ruler if you need to trace the sales horizontally. Write down the number of desktops, 2015, so that's the black. It's here, and it's just a nice starter. But for B, a bit more work to do. It's worth 3 marks. Take your time. It's about laptops. It's about these sections here. So you're going to need to do some readings, like there, like that's 100 to 260. So it's 160. I'll not do them all, but I get 220 and 280. Running out of room, I'll do my takeaway over my add over there. First column is 0, 16 for the next column, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 160 laptops sold. State the item that had the greatest increase. Now, if you look at the desktop computers, it goes up a bit. Not a biggest multiplier though. If you go on laptops, again, getting bigger, but not the biggest multiplier. If you look at the tablets, I would say this bar here could be as much as 5 or 6 times bigger. So in proportion, it's much bigger. So I would just simply say tablets, and in your own words, say something like the multiplier is bigger, the proportion is much bigger or steeper, whatever you want to use. It's a couple of marks, but just mention proportion or much bigger increase. On to Alex, waffling nonsense. So when you've had a read of what Alex has to say, the main crux of his argument is that makes more profit. Well, how do we know? Is Alex correct? Not a clue. Reason, we don't know any prices, or we don't know any profit margins. Not a clue. They could make £1 on each one, a penny. They could make 500 or more. Number 13, piece of wire. Peter cuts 2 45s. He cuts 90 off. How much has he got left? He's got 150. How many 40 centimetre lengths can Peter cut? So he'll cut off 40, he'll cut off 80, he'll cut off 120, 160 goes too far, not enough. Just the 3. Number 14, good old wordy ones which people don't like. Organise your information. As soon as you see people's names, particularly when they're in alphabetical order, it's a clue to get things organised. Gavin saves 28%. Percent means out of 100. Harry spends 3/4, so he saves 1/4. Let's scale that up. Times by 25. He actually saves a bit less. The amount Hillary saves is 3, and there's 2 amounts to share, but it's 10 shares in total, which if we scale that up, times top and bottom by 10, as you can see with Isabel, she's saving 30. Could call it 30%, 25% for Harry, 28% for Gavin. Who saves the most? Isabel saves the most. And if you want to just keep them as percentages, could have done them as any. But obviously, there's certain things that are easier to compare. Can't compare them unless you've converted them to similar fractions or something else. 30% for Isabel. Speaking of percentages, good old straightforward non-calc. 10% divide by 10. 5% halve it. Add your stuff together. We've got a nice 24 for an easy couple of marks. On to number 16. Substitution. As always, BIDMAS applies. Take care with negatives. So P, do the multiplications first. 4 5s are 20. ZO, 20. And 3 times -2, -6. Done. We've got 14 for the answer. Expand means multiply, so each loop means multiply. 4e times e, and 4e doubled 8e. Question C, you could divide both sides by 3, but that doesn't always work if that's not a friendly number. So I'll stick to expanding the brackets, adding 12 to both sides, divide both sides by 3. We get 11, on we go. Good old wordy. So we've got nuts and no nuts. So if a quarter have nuts, 3/4 don't. And as you can see, 1 plus 3 makes 4, so we can just write it as a 1:3 ratio. Do not overcomplicate. Examiners love these ratio to fractions converting. So number 18, it's Venn diagrams, but without the Venn diagram. So make a list. Multiples of 5 between 14 and 26, so 15, and go up in 5s, and we stop. Odd numbers, so we start at 15. Also, you could draw the Venn diagram if you wanted to. Entirely up to you. Got some room down there. And we stop at 25. Union means all together, so we need to list all these numbers, but don't include duplicates, so 15 only goes in once. 17, 19, 21, 23, 25 only goes in once. Now it says describe the members of a intersection, so that's in a Venn diagram, that's the bit in the middle. That really means intersection means which numbers appear in both. So we've already kind of mentioned that it's 15 and 25 appear in both lists. And what are they? They are odd multiples of 5. That's the best way to describe them for me. On we go. So some fractions work. Whatever fractions you're doing, I'm a big fan. Don't just go 2 plus 1, get it out. It's good practice. Keep the 2s and 1s in there because you need it for some questions and it's just good practice. So, convert to top heavy in proper. It's 15 over 7. 2 times 7 plus 1. I call it big times bottom. 1 times 4 plus 1. 7 and 4, the lowest that 7 and 4 go into is 28. Left-hand side we multiply by 4. Right-hand portion we multiply by 7. Now it says work out. I've looked at the mark scheme. It does allow you to leave your answer as an improper fraction. But obviously for good practice, 3 28s are 84. Gives you a remainder of 11 and you get 3 and 11 28ths. So don't try and look for shortcuts because it's good practice to do them properly. Dividing, make the first one top heavy. And it's the old KFC, whatever your teachers called it. Heap, flip, and change. Top times top, 24. Bottom times bottom, 15. They're both in the 3 times table. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. And how many times does 5 go into 8? 1 with a remainder of 3. Denominator stays the same. On we go to number 20. So typical, not overly wordy, but not the friendliest looking of questions. Get it organised. So this line, we've got houses to flats, 7 to 4. Second line, we've got flats to bungalows, 8 to 5. One thing at a time. There are 50 bungalows in the village. Well, that means in proportion, there's a multiplier of 10. So there are 80 flats. Same multiplier. We can now take that information over here. There's 80 flats. That's a multiplier of 20. We do the same to 7. Houses, 7 times 20. There's 140 houses in the village. Number 21. Another wordy. Don't get put off. One thing at a time. Now you'll notice the answer's in percentage. So that's the first thing. It's a percentage profit question. Formula for that is actual profit divided by the original amount, and it's multiplied by 100. So we've got to come back to that. So Renee has 5 kilograms and then it talks about 250 grams. So not a fan. Let's change the kilograms into grams. So 250 grams of sweets goes into 1 kilogram 4 times. So we're getting 4 lots in every kilogram. There's 5 kilograms. 5 times 4. She's able to fill 20 bags. She sells the bags for 65 pence. And it's easy to times by 20. You times by 10, and then times by 2. So there we go. And then 2 65s or 130, however you want to do it. But whatever you get, it's £13. So she pays £10. Her actual profit is £3. Not worth the effort really, but there we go. Original amount is 10. And when you times by 100, think of it as 100 over 1. We're going to cross cancel on this one, divide by 10 on the top, divide by 10 on the bottom. Top times top is 30, bottom times bottom is 1, so who cares? Answer, it's 30%. Well worth putting some effort into those. The numbers are quite friendly, but try and keep it organised. Don't just skip them. See how far you can get into them. Number 22. The key word here, estimate. All right, don't be using all those horrible decimals. This is not a calc paper. So as you read the question, hope it's obvious that it's a speed, distance, time question. Estimate how many days. Days is a unit of time. So we need to do distance, which is 3,000 and all that nonsense. We'll call it 3,000 over time. Over speed, which is 15.1. Well, let's call it 15. 30 divided by 15 is 2. But 300, 3,000, add on the noughts. So he's taking 200 hours. All right, he does 8 hours per day. So there's the question. How many days? 8 into 20 is 2 remainder 4. 8 into 40 is 5. Good luck with that, Juan. That's going to take you 25 days. So when he trains for the race, the average speed goes up. So we've got an increase in speed. Now, if you drive faster, run faster, walk faster, it's going to reduce. So as we've got speed increasing, we'll have time decreasing. I'll let you write the whole thing out. So I'm now about to make a mockery of electronic pens. So the first thing is, when you look at it, you will see a base of 6. Doesn't matter where you draw it. There's my 6. So we've got a base of 6 centimeters. Now, as you look at it, you won't see the slope heading away. The height of it will be 4. So you don't want to go above 4. This needs a height of 4, not 5. 5 is the slope. You can't see that from a front view. So with your ruler, complete what you'll see. It'll basically be an isosceles triangle. It will have a height of 4. Okay. Now, I've looked ahead. I know what's coming, so I'll stay on this page for a bit for now. It asks you on the next page to work out the total surface area. So let's do it on this page. First of all, the base is square. So it's 6 times 6. It's 36. There's only one of them. But then for each triangle, triangles are a half times the base, which is 6, times the height. But their actual height is that distance there, because you're laying it flat sort of thing, or standing it upright. The height you need to use is 5. So 6 5s are 30, halved. So each triangle is worth 15. So let's finish off the question over here. The base is 36, and there are 4 15s, which makes 60. 60 and 36, 96. Now, take a check here. You'll notice it's that rare question where they've missed the units. Surface area might look 3D, but it's a measure of area. So make sure you've got that on. Next one. I actually remember teaching a class that took this. They really hated this question and groaned when I showed them the solution. The key to it is we don't know how big the squares are, but you can work it out, because horizontally we go from 6 to 38, That's 32. And that's the length, width, whatever you want to call it, of 4 squares. So the squares are 8 by 8. So where is C horizontally? Well, C horizontally is from the 6, add 8, add 8. We get 22. Where is the C vertically? It's easier to come down from B. So it's down 8, down another 8. So take 16 away from 36. If you can spot it, it's not as evil as you think. Drawing a graph. On my worked answers, I've done this both ways, so I'll do it same here. I'll get rid of that. So you could do it the y equals mx plus c technique. C equals 1, so it crosses. And then gradient, the literal interpretive gradient is for every 1 unit to the right or whatever, you go down 4 units. If you go left, you go up. So you could fill it in that way. Or if you've been trained for a table of values, feel free, sub in 0, sub in 1, sub in 2. You'll get those same answers anyway. 1, -3, 2, down to -7. And to make my life easier, when it's -3, it goes up to 13, because I'm about to bodge this up with using my rubbish electronic pen. So, in we go. Make sure you hit. If they don't line up, you need to do them again. Check them. If something's out of place, that's why you do 3 in your table of values, because it's a self-checking method. Finally, vectors. You might not like it, but they're not as bad as you think. What does a 2 in front of a vector do? It doubles the top, doubles the bottom. We've got to add it to this vector. Now, these might look like fractions, they're not. In fractions, you can't add the tops and add the bottoms, but in vectors you can, because it's basically like saying go right 10 and go left 1. So you'll end up having gone right 9. Look at the bottom, go up 4 and go up 7. You might as well say go up 11. Vectors, not as bad as you might think. So I hope that's helped. Is that finished? See you on the next one.